You're so much cooler than my mom, Chloe. The words punched the air out of my lungs. I stood in the hallway of my own home, gripping a plate of Leo's favorite homemade chocolate chip cookies. My knuckles were white. I know, right? Chloe laughed. Her voice was high, grating. I told you, Leo. Rules are for losers. Did you like the keys I left on your desk? Are you kidding? A Mustang? Mom would have bought me a bicycle and told me to build character. Your mom is boring, Chloe said. She doesn't know how to live. I stepped into the living room. Leo was lounging on my expensive cream sofa, his feet up in muddy sneakers. Chloe sat beside him, twirling her bleach blonde hair. Boring enough to bake for you, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Leo rolled his eyes. Mom, don't start. Chloe actually gets me. Gets you? I asked. By letting you skip school? By buying your affection? Oh, please, Mark said, walking into the room. He wore a sharp gray suit, looking at me with pure disgust. Don't act like a victim, Elena. Chloe is my soulmate. She brings life into this dead house. You just drag us down. 16 years, Mark, I said. I built this house. I paid for it, he snapped. He grabbed a manila folder from the coffee table and shoved it against my chest. Sign them. I'm done waiting. I looked down. Divorce papers. You're doing this in front of our son, I asked. Leo is a man now, Mark sneered. He knows what he wants. And he wants to live with us, not some crying, miserable housewife. I looked at Leo, my baby boy. Leo, is this true? You want me to leave? Leo wouldn't look me in the eye, but he nodded. Chloe doesn't nag me. I'm staying with Dad. The plate of cookies slipped from my hands. It shattered on the hardwood floor. Watch the rug, Chloe shrieked. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. Something inside me simply turned off. I walked to the kitchen counter, picked up a pen, and signed the papers. Here, I said, dropping the folder on the broken cookies. Keep the house. Keep the cheating husband. But Mark, remember this moment. Just pack your bags and go, Mark said, turning his back to me. I walked upstairs. I packed 2 suitcases with just my clothes and my important documents. When I came back down, they were already laughing at the television. They didn't even say goodbye. I opened the front door and stepped out into the cold evening air. The heavy oak door clicked shut behind me. They actually just let you walk out? Sarah asked, handing me a mug of hot tea. I sat on the lumpy futon in her tiny apartment. Leo didn't even look up from the TV. Sarah's eyes blazed with anger. Mark is a monster, and Chloe, she's a gold digger. They are going to ruin him. I know, I said, and I won't be there to pick up the pieces. What's your next move? She asked gently. I rebuild, I said. But first, I need to know exactly what Mark is hiding. He was too eager for me to sign without a fight. The next morning, I sat across from Detective Vance in a dim coffee shop. He was quiet, his eyes sharp and calculating. You think your husband hid marital assets before forcing you out? Vance asked, tapping his pen. I know he did, I said. I want you to find every secret bank account, every credit card he gave his mistress. It will cost you, Vance warned. I don't care, I said. I need eyes on the life I left behind. They think I'm weak. They think I'm just going to fade away. Vance nodded slowly. I'll get you the proof. Good, I said, staring into my black coffee. Let them have their fun for now. They made their choice, and I am making mine. I'll call you soon, Vance said. I stood up and grabbed my coat. Thank you, Vance. I walked out, ready to fight. My new life starts today. Elena, your quarterly reports were flawless, Mr. Henderson said, handing me a thick folder. I'm promoting you to senior director. It comes with a substantial raise. Thank you, Mr. Henderson. I won't let you down, I said. You never do. Keep it up. He walked away. Liam leaned over his cubicle wall, smiling broadly at me. Senior director, that calls for a celebration tonight. Just hard work paying off, Liam, I said, organizing my desk. You deserve it, Elena. You've been practically living in this office for 6 months. Work keeps me focused, I replied. But I wouldn't say no to getting a coffee. My treat, Liam said kindly. He was always like this, respectful, easygoing, a complete opposite to the man I used to know. My phone buzzed, a text from Detective Vance with an audio file attached. I put in my earbud and hit play. Are you serious? Another designer bag? It was Jenna's voice, shrill and envious. Mark's credit card has a massive limit, Chloe laughed on the recording. Besides, his construction company is losing bids left and right. I need to secure my assets before he goes totally broke. You're terrible, Jenna giggled. I pulled the earbud out. Mark was sinking, fast. The phone rang again, an unknown number. Hello? Is this Elena? A woman asked. Speaking. This is Maya, Leo's school counselor. I'm calling because I'm deeply concerned. My chest tightened. Leo. My baby boy. Is he hurt? I asked. Not physically, Maya said, but he's failing 4 classes. He skipped school entirely this week. I tried calling his father, but his stepmother answered and told me to stop bothering them. Pain flared in my heart. I wanted to drop everything, run to the school, and drag Leo home. But home didn't exist anymore. He chose that life. I'm sorry, Maya, I said, forcing my voice to remain steady. Can you come in to speak with him? Maya pleaded. I am no longer his primary guardian. You need to contact Mark or Child Services if it's a neglect issue. But you're his mother. You have to care. He needs you right now. You cannot just abandon him when he is clearly crying out for help, she said, her tone filled with judgment and frustration. He made his choice, Maya. Please direct your concerns to his father. I hung up before my voice could break. My hands shook. Stay strong, Elena. A week later, the receptionist buzzed my office. Elena, you have a visitor. She says she's your mother-in-law. Send her in, I sighed. Mrs. Gable practically stumbled into my office. Her usual perfectly coiffed hair was an absolute mess. Tears streamed down her wrinkled face. Elena, please, she sobbed, grabbing the edge of my desk. Mrs. Gable, what are you doing here? That awful woman, she cried. Chloe kicked me out. I went to stay with them for the weekend, and she threw my bags onto the front lawn. She told Mark I was ruining her vibe. And what did Mark do? I asked calmly. Nothing. He just stood there and let her yell at me. I have nowhere to go, Elena. Please let me stay with you. I looked at the woman crying in front of me. This was the same woman who had smiled when Mark moved Chloe in. Sorry, no, I said. Mrs. Gable gasped, stepping back. You can't be serious. We are family. We stopped being family the day you helped Mark pack my things, I said, my voice cold and firm. You wanted this. I didn't know she was like this. I thought she was just young and fun. You thought she was an upgrade. You supported their affair from the start. Elena, I was horribly wrong. I'm begging you for help. You made your bed, Mrs. Gable. Now you have to sleep in it. I have a meeting to attend. You're completely heartless, she yelled as she backed toward the door. No, I said, looking her dead in the eye. I'm just finally putting myself first. She ran out of the office crying. I sat back in my new leather chair, took a deep breath, and opened my next file. The phone blared at 2 a.m. I grabbed it, squinting against the harsh screen light. Hello? Is this Elena? I am Officer Davis. We have your son, Leo. My blood ran cold. Is he okay? What happened? He is unharmed, but he is under arrest for street racing and reckless endangerment. He crashed a Mustang into a city bus stop. I will be right there. I drove to the precinct through a heavy storm. When I pushed open the double doors, the lobby sounded like a chaotic war zone. You selfish brat, Chloe screamed. That car cost $60,000. It was brand new. It is not my fault, Leo yelled back. The roads were wet. Enough, Mark shouted, his face bright red. The car is totaled, and my credit cards are maxed out, Chloe. I am ruined. We have nothing left. That is your problem, Mark, Chloe snapped. She ripped a diamond ring off her finger, throwing it onto the hard floor. I am not staying with a bankrupt loser. Greg bought me a ticket to Miami tomorrow. We are done. She turned and stormed toward the exit, shoving past me into the rain without looking back. Mark stood frozen, staring at the ring, spinning on the tiles. I walked up to the front desk. Officer Davis met me with a grim expression. He hit a bus stop, Davis said. If he had been going faster, he would be dead. Bail is set, but he desperately needs a lawyer. Thank you, officer. Leo finally noticed me. His eyes were wide and frantic. He looked like a frightened little boy again. Mom, he cried, running toward the desk. Mom, please, you have to help me. I told you that car was a mistake, Leo, I said. I know, he sobbed, gripping his hair. I am sorry. Chloe is awful. Dad is always yelling. It is a nightmare. Please come back, Mom. I want to come home with you right now. Before I could answer, Mark practically scrambled over. He looked 10 years older, pale and pathetic. The arrogant man who threw divorce papers at me was entirely gone. Elena, Mark gasped. He actually dropped to his knees right there on the dirty floor. Elena, please. Get up, Mark, I said softly. You are embarrassing yourself. No, listen, he begged, grabbing the hem of my coat. I was wrong. About everything. Chloe bled me dry. My business is gone. The house is in foreclosure. I have nothing. We need you, Elena. Please let us just go back to how it was. I looked down at the man I loved for 16 years. I looked at the son I raised. 6 months ago, this exact scene would have broken my heart. I would have cried, forgiven them instantly, and spent my life trying to fix their mistakes. Now? I felt absolutely nothing. Just a cold, peaceful closure. You threw me away, Mark, I said, my voice steady. You called me dead weight. You told me you upgraded. I was stupid. I was blind. And Leo, I turned to my crying son, you said I was boring. You traded me for a sports car. I am sorry. I am so sorry, Leo wailed. I will hire a lawyer for you, Leo, I said. I will pay the legal fees so you do not go to jail, but that is all. Mom, no, I want to live with you. You made your choice. You chose his rules. You chose her money. I gently pulled my coat from Mark's trembling hands. I am not your punching bag anymore, and I am not your savior. Elena, you cannot just leave us here, Mark screamed, tears spilling down his cheeks. Watch me. I turned and walked toward the exit doors. Mom, please, come back. Leo's voice cracked, echoing through the quiet lobby. I pushed the heavy metal doors open and stepped out into the dark, raging storm. The cold winter rain hit my face, completely washing away the very last traces of my old broken life. I didn't even look back once. I just walked straight to my silver car, got in, and smiled brightly. I was finally, completely, truly free today.